Hello and welcome to a cover story conversation. I have with me Pavan Varma, former ambassador, former Rajya Sabha member, political commentator, author, and of course someone whom I really love having on my show because we're going to have one of our usual freewheeling conversations. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
But Panja, I actually want to speak to you about a little bit about the state that we are in today. We've had the Delhi elections. We've seen what happened to I don't know whether you want to call it India bloc or the Congress and AAP separately. But where are we headed? Bihar is coming. You're an expert on what is happening in Bihar. Do we see a repeat of Delhi and Bihar first of all?
My assessment after Haryana and Delhi, Priya, is, let me say first of all, what a pleasure it is to be talking to you. It always is. My assessment after Delhi and Haryana is that in India's recent democratic history, there has never been a government in power in Delhi which has been luckier in terms of the abysmal quality of its opposition. That is clear.
So candid and well said. It took me a minute, but you're right.
Haryana, which by fairly objective evaluations till about 6 weeks to 2 months before, was being won by the Congress, was lost because the Congress appears to have mastered the art of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Correct.
And a consequence of Haryana was Delhi, where the cards were stacked against the AAP. And I am not taking any position on merits of either side, but the cards were stacked against AAP because A, AAP and Congress were not fighting together, and B, if I was a voter in Delhi who did not wish to vote for the BJP, I saw no compelling reason to vote for AAP because even if the AAP came to power, I know that the conditions of its being a union territory and the manner in which its relations with the center have unfolded in the recent past would make it a government that would not be allowed to, or at least prevented in the maximum way possible from fulfilling its promises. Already you have a situation in Delhi, and I'll sum it up quickly, where the lieutenant governor has powers over police, land, public order. That's part of the union territory's powers.
Yeah.
In addition, in 2015, the BJP brought in a notification by which it added services to these, which essentially meant that the democratically elected chief minister of Delhi would not have powers to appoint, transfer, or write the confidential report of the officers who served under him.
So then that makes him.
I mean, I've been a bureaucrat also. If I don't report to you, I don't necessarily either follow or implement your orders
Correct.
to the best of my ability. And that order was challenged by AAP because it was a usurpation.
No.
It took 8 years before it came to the Supreme Court. The majesty of a 5-judge constitution bench struck it down. And the government brought in an ordinance and restored services to the lieutenant governor. So therefore, in today's scenario, coming back to your question, I see the opposition in an extremely divided, fragmented, weakened states with strong leaders in individual states in their own fiefdoms, but no pan-Indian opposition emerging.
So you mentioned fragmented opposition. Now, what can keep the opposition together? Is it, because there are, I don't think you can unite under one leader. So there's no such leader in sight. So then now should we talk about ideology? And having said that, is there something that the Congress can do? What it's doing right now is it's borrowing ideology from, like it's taken Akhilesh's the ideology of the caste. It's taken somebody's ideology of the federalism. Should it have its own overarching ideology, and what should that be?
The only way an opposition can be kept together on a pan-India basis in an effective electoral manner is when the largest of the opposition parties can play the role of being the anchor.
Correct.
You see that on the opposite side of the spectrum, where the BJP in the NDA is the anchor. Unfortunately, on the side of the opposition, the Congress, far from being an anchor, is fast becoming a liability for its own partners. And the Congress refuses to see the writing on the wall. The real reason why Congress appears to be rudderless in terms of its ideology is not that it does not have an ideology. The Congress always had a centrist ideology,
Right.
which included elements of many sides of the thought spectrum. It was an umbrella.
Yeah, it always was.
The real problem is that Congress has lost its organizational structure on the ground. And when a party has lost that, then merely on the basis of who is running the party on the top, and much is desired there as well, it cannot be the basis of either ideology or acting the role of an anchor. So therefore, the opposition has to become fragmented in the absence of one larger party among them acting as an anchor, as the NDA would become if the BJP was to dissemble. So you have the DMK strong in Tamil Nadu as of now, although there are challenges ahead. You have Mamta strong in West Bengal. You have Akhilesh Yadav, not strong enough, but at least prominent enough in UP.
Correct.
And so on and so forth. But the Congress itself, its real strength today lies or should lie in the North India. North India, because that is where it is the only party which directly opposes the BJP.
Correct.
If it is not organizationally strong there, there is hardly any catchment area for it to win seats. And unfortunately, in North India, you will see Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana recently, UP, and in Bihar, of course, it is non-existent almost. So, the Congress's real crisis is the complete collapse of its organizational structure on the ground and its disproportionate emphasis on the ability of the leadership on the top to deliver, where the party in fact celebrates the getting of 99 seats as though it has already come to power, when that is nearly half of what Mrs. Indira Gandhi got in the worst performance of the Congress after the emergency in 1977. But for the Congress, that was enough reason to celebrate. So that's why I feel the opposition at the moment has little other option but to remain fragmented, but to be strong in certain well-defined state citadels
That's nice.
rather than on a pan-India basis.
So then what should the Congress do? See, they always have this argument. Should we give too many seats to the winning ally, like, who can win the seats and take on the BJP? Or should we cater to our own, which is the decision they made in Delhi, to our own organization and fight our own seats? But they are facing a two-edged battle, their own existentialism and defeating BJP.
So whenever Chanakya says that whenever you are in a situation where neither policy appears to work, there is a fifth upay.
Which is?
Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, to aap janti hai. The fifth upay is asana, where you master the strategic art of sitting on the fence, like P.V. Narasimha Rao had done, which is the right strategy for the Congress at the moment, which is we can't win on our own
Right.
in UP. There is little point in opposing the strongest party from the opposition in UP because you then divide the votes against the BJP. So go along with the strongest party in a particular state or region, strengthen it, and use that time to rebuild your organization. Political parties do not survive on either the legacy of the past or the charisma of their leadership if it exists. They survive on organizational rigor, strength on the ground. That is the strength of the BJP RSS. From 2 seats in parliament in 1984, by the sheer strength of their organizational rigor and roots on the ground, you are in a situation today where they have replaced the Congress as the majoritarian party in India. The Congress's progress has been exactly opposite to it. The last time it won an absolute majority was 1984.
Which was also a sympathy vote.
After that, the Congress has been in power in a secular decline, where it has always been in power in coalitions. And now it has reached a point where even in coalitions, its numbers are so diminished that it is unable to put up a cohesive face of an opposition against the ruling party in collaboration with its other partners. The classic example of this, Priya, is the India Alliance. I have never seen a good idea go so outrageously wrong as this particular alliance did. They met 1 year before the general elections in Bihar. The name also, frankly, was quite charismatic. India,
very
as an acronym. All the parties met. They met again 3 months later. I think it was in Bengaluru, where they had good food, good guest houses. There was neither a secretariat setup, nor a common minimum program, nor a strategy for seat adjustments. Nothing. And finally, they were in the elections fighting against each other. The Congress was fighting the TMC in West Bengal, the Congress was fighting the left in Kerala, and the AAP was fighting the Congress was fighting the AAP. The whole thing had dissembled because you need organizational glue to hold an alliance together, which then develops an ideology.
Or the other way around. I'm going to take a break and come back and keep the conversation going, so stay with us. Hello and welcome back to a cover story conversation with Pavan Varma. We are discussing the state of the opposition really. You're saying first get the organization in place and then go about the manifesto or the ideology. And now is the time for your next Lok Sabha. Don't wait till the eve of the next Lok Sabha at least. You have 3-4 years still on hand. How do you propose that to happen? Do you think there should be a convener and should the Congress take the role? Because whenever there have been alliances, we've had, smaller parties, Chandrababu Naidu, N.T. Ramarao, other parties, regional, strong, tall leaders were conveners rather than the main party.
See, I am no one to tell the Congress.
Just as a political analyst, that's also one of your hats.
They have leaders of great wisdom within its fold. But as a well-wisher, if I were to say, I think the Congress has to do 3 things. Organizational structure, organizational structure, organizational structure.
ये कांग्रेस की बात हो रही है या India Alliance?
Congress. Because without that, you cannot develop the electoral strength, without which you cannot play the role of an anchor as part of a larger opposition alliance, without which you remain somewhere as marginally the largest party with diminishing influence.
Correct.
So it must start with, well, let us put it under a one word, rubric word, rejuvenation, reinvention of the Congress, which I'm afraid at the moment, from what I know and from what I see, they do not seem to be in a mood to do.
Correct.
And you have a situation where some of the brightest leaders in the Congress are not part of the inner deciding, I don't want to use the word coterie or group. They are kept at arm's length. And the best talents in the Congress have not been apportioned their duties on the basis of their proven strength as grassroots leaders to revitalize the party. Unless that happens, I'm afraid we are going to see a further weakening Congress.
But unfortunately, that's what is happening. People who have some, whether it's a DK Shiv Kumar, look at the people who are under the line scrutiny these days. Shashi Tharoor, DK Shiv Kumar, Sachin Pilot. These are all leaders who have some standing.
No, no. Shashi Tharoor, Sachin Pilot, I can name Manish Tiwari.
Manish Tiwari, yes.
There are many others who feel that, I don't know, I may be wrong, that perhaps their voice matters less in the actual decision-making corridors of power.
Yes, in the Congress.
And if that is the case, then you have a bunch of relatively electorally rootless people who are guiding the party. I say this not out of any personal attack. I say this because I wish the Congress well. In fact, there was a revivalist plan for the Congress party which was extremely comprehensive.
So the Prashant Kishore
Yeah.
plan.
I mean, when asked, he gave a 570 slide presentation over a week to 12 members of the Congress party, apart from the three Gandhis themselves. He said, choose your leaders, but I'd like to make it to those who, in a way, represent the party more broadly. And I know, because he would meet me after the day's engagements, that they were literally overwhelmed by that presentation because it was a उसका जो हिंदी वर्ड है मूल परिवर्तन. I mean, it was a basic reinvention of the Congress grassroots upwards. But after that failed, due to reasons which can be separately discussed, not because the plan was wrong, the plan was something they loved. But there was an organizational hitch because I think, from what I know, and I stand subject to correction, Prashant said that please form a 4-member committee which will report to the Congress president. And once the Congress president approves a course of action or a series of actions or a plan of action, then he wants to be given a clear mandate to proceed to implement it, because the time from 22 to 24 was short.
Correct.
However, from what I know, and again stand subject to correction, apparently Rahul Gandhi wanted that proposal to be routed through the organizational secretary of the Congress, Shri K.C. Venugopal. Now, that's all right. That's his prerogative, and also that is his, in a way, he's the leader of the party. But Prashant felt, and I must say that I agreed with him, that by doing so, we would be in a position where na khuda hi mila, na visale sanam. You will fall flat between two stools, attempting to do the near impossible in situations which are almost impossible to function.
Correct.
So, having abandoned that, that's when Prashant decided to enter politics directly. But that was the plan.
Okay.
That was one of the plans. The Congress can devise its own plans. But the imperative is for the Congress to restructure, reorganize, rebuild grassroots upwards.
Okay, I have you with me, so I want to also discuss the ideology question, though you said that comes after organization. now you said Congress was an umbrella organization. It has always, been between Nehruvian secularism, Gandhian pluralism. First of all, what do these terms mean? What is so different between the two? And what should the Congress adopt?
No, I think the Congress policy was one party, organizationally, was one where there could be space for, if not extremes of opinion, but of differences of opinion. Against Jawaharlal Nehru, there could be a K.D. Mal, who was certainly more concerned about Hindu welfare, as against Nehru's absolutely radical secularism. There was scope. At some point, the Congress, in its attempt to be everything, ended up becoming nothing.
Purana case.
So, the ideology comes as a feedback from the grassroots. We would like, a survey may reveal that the most important problem in a state is Nali Gali.
Yeah.
It could be. So, rural development or municipal structure in the rural hinterland. It could be agriculture, it could be jobs, it could be prices, it could be so many things. Once this feedback in an organized manner begins to come, you use that to stitch together an ideology which conforms to your basic principles, which are well known for the Congress, while at the same time retuning them, restructuring them to be more relevant today.
Yeah.
This exercise, have you ever seen it happen?
No.
Chinta shivers happen. But they don't lead to the kind of organizational revamp the party needs. So therefore, you have a situation, if I can sum it up for you, you have a party which is ruling at the center, the BJP, which has exceptional ideological clarity, an extremely strong organizational base, a very organized cadre assisted by the RSS, and a will to power.
Right.
On the other hand, where the opposition is concerned, you have a Congress in drift, a Congress without the organizational structure, a Congress without the cadre strength, and a Congress, therefore, fighting to survive in bastions where it knows it has no chance, and therefore creating within the opposition alliance more contradictions and rifts rather than playing the role of the cementer. It's pretty logical to see what is happening around.
And thank you so much for putting it so candidly. And really, the problem with the opposition, really, if you see the Venn diagram, it comes to the Congress, and the Congress, as the main, pan-India party of the opposition, should take the onus and perhaps maybe hear this interview. And they didn't hear Prashant Kishore, they may hear Pavan Varma. Let's see.
No, I was just giving my views.
On that note, thank you, Pavan, for
Thank
talking
you.
to us.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.